What's up, everybody? It's me, Adam here. So this is the third video in my first ever little new kind of, I guess not little, hopefully YouTube experience. I want to as always apologize. I know everything is super low tech. This is being recorded on a phone, and I don't have any time to edit yet because I'm studying nonstop and working on my doll head nonstop, and just trying to get as much out of beauty school as I wanted and as I can. And I wanted to touch on that real quick for just a minute. So I watch a ton of YouTube videos and a ton of tutorials on cutting and hair and styling and everything that I can soak up. And one thing that I don't know if it's discussed too much, and this is something I see a lot at the school and even at salons, is this kind of I want to guess not necessarily unappreciation, but this lack of seriousness for what it means to get a student loan and to get this education. I see so many people at the salon that paid the same amount that I did, some exorbitant amount, over $10,000 in loans to go to school, and they kind of treat it like it's a nuisance, and they don't really want to be there. And I can't ever imagine, maybe it just doesn't seem that real because they didn't have to pay the money out of pocket. I read an interesting statistic the other day that right now the amount of student debt is in the trillions, I believe over 2 or 3 trillion, something like that, and supposedly it's going to be the next big debt bubble. And most of that, the majority, I believe over like 70+%, is all just unpaid debt. So I think anything worth learning is worth really absorbing. So all those of you that are still in school, like me, just take the time to really absorb it and learn just everything you can. You have literally these masters of their craft all around you. So, just soak everything up and do everything you can to really enjoy it and really get the most for your money and out of your education, because it is going to be quick, and you will be, hopefully having a long and wonderful career, but you're not going to ever get anything out of it that you possibly can, and you're definitely not going to want to learn the same thing a million times because you felt silly about not learning it in the first place. So, yeah, sorry, I'm really nervous, and I know that I'm messing up a lot, so just bear with me. Be gentle in the comments, please. So, today, like I said, we're gonna just finish our little section for my honor stuff. A lot of this is gonna be school related. I can hopefully get to some funner stuff pretty soon. So, like I said, hopefully this will give a unique perspective from a student who actually doesn't really has no history in hair whatsoever. I'm still at the 5 month mark. I'm trying to do this day by day, so everybody can kind of see the transition and whatnot. As I said before, I have over 25 years in the tattoo industry, in the people industry, and the making people look and feel good industry. So I do bring that to the table, which does have a huge impact. I feel a lot more comfortable working with people. I know the realities of what we can achieve with studying and apprenticing and learning, and what it means to really make somebody feel good and look good and just be happy with their body and be happy with how they feel and how they look, and the kind of impact that that can make. And just having faith in learning, and faith in techniques, and repetition and what that can do for you, and just doing it again and again and again and again until you get it, until you understand it. And you will understand it as long as you take it seriously and just compete with yourself. This isn't you against every hairdresser in the world. We're all in the same business. We're all here to learn from each other and just enjoy the art, enjoy hair, and enjoy creating, and enjoy beauty. So just get out there and do it and have fun, and you know don't worry about all the other stuff at the moment. So let's get to this. We're gonna be doing our finish dry techniques. Now I'm not going to take you through the entire finish dry today, just the basic technique. Um, this is for class, so sorry if it seems a little droning, but I do think that the perspective of somebody learning, especially for those of you who are currently in school like I am, it's kind of interesting to see some little takes on it. At least things that I've observed that make it a little easier, a little simpler to understand than necessarily hearing it from somebody who's done it a million times, or somebody who is just kind of relating an experience. So our finish dry techniques are going to be our leafing, our flat wrap. The leafing also has a beveling option, and these are your Paul Mitchell, um, kind of standard drawing techniques. They may have different names depending on which school you've gone to or which school you're going to, but I think they all achieve basically the same thing. So understand and read the definitions. I'll do my best to define everything as I'm going along and kind of show what you can achieve with it, at least, in theory, until I have some time to really take you through the entire dry. So the last one, of course, is going to be our directional. So let's start with, I guess we'll start with our flat wrap. So now this is a finish dry technique. So at this point, we've already gone through, we've done our roots. I'm sorry, not our flat wrap, our leafing. So we've done our roots, we've done our fringe, we've done our nape section. So now the goal of this is for you flat style girls or guys, where you just want no real volume and high shine and just bone straight hair. A lot of times this is great for doing with somebody that's got a little extra curl, or a little extra density that they want to smooth out. Somebody that has a little coarser hair and just wants to get it extra flat, extra smooth. So I'm using a vent brush today. Depending on the coarseness or the texture of the hair, if the formation is a little more curly or something like that, you may want to use a brush with a little more grab to it. This is just to make things a little easier to see and understand. So the way that I was taught, and we're going to do this holding the dryer, I'm not actually going to turn it on just yet. So when I was taught, sorry if this is a little out of view, but was to hold the brush completely out in front of you and do this kind of scoop and drop technique, which is completely fine, but it's not too ergonomic. It's gonna give you some hand and arm problems. And as somebody who's for somebody who's been working with their hands and working with their wrists their entire pretty much life, I can tell you it is so important to care for your body and care for your wrists and your hands. These are your tools. If you mess up your dryer, if you mess up your brush, if you drop your scissors and they break and you don't have a replacement, you're done. Now imagine if you broke that tool and you could never find a replacement, like ever. So you would really start taking care of those scissors a little better. And I see, obviously it takes a little mastery when we're first born. We don't really know how to use these tools. So just like learning anything, you want to learn dexterity, learn how to control them, learn your finger movements, learn your wrist movements. What's gonna give you the maximum amount of not just control, but the amount of comfort and longevity for your tools and for everything that you do. So what I've learned, you definitely want to keep your wrist a little bit straighter. Doing this method isn't quite practical, so it is okay to bend. You just want to make sure that you're pulling the hair straight down. I hope you can see this okay. Sorry if I'm stepping off camera. So you're literally going to pull straight down. You're going to use the brush like a little scoop. Hopefully you can see this a little better from this angle. So you can put the brush on the side. This is for more of a curly formation texture. this way you can get a little more grab with it. You're literally going to put the brush into the hair, give it a push, a little kind of wiggle, and turn and pull the hair down as you're smoothing with that dryer. And that's going to give you that extra tension. And then again, if this is really, really extra curly hair, after you've done that one, you're going to go in a second time, pull the brush back, and then turn again, and just almost twist straight down. You don't want to yank their hair out, but just creating that maximum amount of tension, and giving you that extra heat and that extra tension while you're pushing down is going to cause that curl to just straighten out. And then you can go in with your flat iron or your curling iron or whatnot after, to achieve whichever look you want. So with this, you want to use your normal kind of 3-section parting. I found that to be the easiest, and just working around the head shape. Stand it a good width away. Again, this way you're always keeping the customer's head and face in mind. They don't want your arm hitting them in the head, so work at a place that's comfortable for both of you. And you're gonna just scoop the hair up, turn, and pull straight down. Now, if you wanted to add that beveling option, and that's basically just when you get to the bottom of the hair, and this you can actually turn either way. Maybe if you want to do a shag or something, you could turn it out a little bit, but generally it's going to be an in turn at the bottom. So once you scoop that hair up and you're drawing straight down, you're going to just continue to twist that brush, and again, watch how your wrists move, because you don't want to overextend them. So stand in a position where it is more comfortable, and turn with your fingers. Don't turn your wrists into everything. You're gonna just end up burning your tools out. So turn with your fingers, and this is gonna be very similar in the round brush technique. Pull and turn down, working around the head shape. Pull and turning down, same thing on the top. Usually your fringe, if this is a technique going all around the head shape, or it's a little if your fringe isn't necessarily isolated from this technique, so you will just be pulling every section straight down. So just like little leaf sections of hair, you're leafing them straight down. So next is our directional. With the leafing, again, you're going to continue this all the way around from mid shaft to end, drying until everything is dry and complete and you have the shine that you want. Don't forget to use product. Product is mandatory, so don't forget to use something, because you're going to feel kind of silly when you get this amazing style and it just falls flat on you. So next we're going to do our directional. Again, using our 3-section parting, we're gonna basically do the exact same thing with our pre-dry. Starting first with our push-pull method on our dominant side, so right for right, left for left. We're gonna start on our right, and taking diagonal forward sections, I believe. You're just gonna push the hair around the head shape and drying, moving the dryer as you go. You are going to have to move with this one, so grabbing each section, just normal brushing, but pulling around the head shape. Now again, this is to achieve movement within the hair, because now we're going to go back and push the other direction, pushing around the head shape, and that's going to make that that base of the hair just extra flexible and extra movement. So when you do put your product in there or you style it, you're going to have all that extra bounce and movement that you want. And when you get to the top, obviously you can't go in a normal circle up here, so if everything is kind of combed to the side, the center part, you're going to start in the front, pushing each piece out and away from where its natural fall is, and then you're going to go the other direction, pushing in, so moving each piece out and away, creating all that movement, then going back and moving out, across in the other direction. Imagine kind of a star pattern, and then moving the star the other way. So our last technique is our round brush. This is, at least for the moment, as myself and most people are kind of learning what to do. This is going to give a really cool effect. It is a fair amount of work, so definitely take that into consideration when you're working with a time constraint. So sectioning is vital. If there's anybody out there that has worked with somebody from Dry Bar or any of the places that do a lot of blowouts and high-end kind of round brush blowouts, etc., they're gonna tell you over and over again, your sectioning is vastly important. That's how you're gonna achieve different effects. If you want more volume on the sides or more volume through the crown, I tend to see a lot of people kind of round brushing, just pulling, out, just twisting and twisting and twisting and twisting and twisting, and you're not really achieving anything. All you're doing is, just giving your fingers a workout. So you're always going to take sections that are no wider or thicker than your brush. So skim a little off the top of that. A lot of times it's better to just work a little smaller, at least in the beginning, and just control that section. At least in the beginning, don't be afraid to clip your pieces out of the way, so you're not just pulling your already done work onto yourself. So with the round brush, you're going to gather, keeping your dryer right at the edge, so the air is just moving across the top, not digging into the teeth, because all we're trying to do is blow that cuticle down. You can use the very corner in between the teeth to help smooth it down a little bit, and then when you come across the top, twist the hair into itself so you're not getting caught in the hair basically. And when you pull down, you're just gonna twist the brush a little bit, about a half turn to a 3/4 turn with each movement, and you're gonna place your dryer right in that crease, right there in the corner, and that way you're not blowing through the hair. You can use the corner of the dryer a little bit to help again kind of smooth that down if necessary, but it's not going to achieve as much as just the tension and the brush moving against it. You don't have to twirl like crazy. You can achieve the same amount of shine by just using tension and heat. Don't pull their hair out, but use the brush to do the work for you. Now you're going to keep moving, keep twisting all the way to the ends. Now for that curl and that big finish, when you're about all the way dry, now you're going to put extra heat into the hair, and this is what's going to give it that curl that really stays. So you're going to pull your ends nice and tight if you need to. You're probably going to get a lot of people where those ends aren't quite as straight as our mannequin is here, so you can just twist them into the edge of the brush, and you're going to twist up, keeping the dryer on the brush and still directing heat. And you want to be using maximum heat. This is how you're going to get that twist, how you get that curl, just going back and forth, back and forth. I urge people to watch as many different tutorials on this technique as you can, because though they're all very similar, there's a lot of little subtle differences, and it took me a few minutes and a lot of different videos to find the one that was most comfortable for me. So you're going to go up and down, remembering to keep your base in mind if you're wanting more volume at whichever part you're in. If you're taking a vertical part, if you're wanting to twist that hair away, if you're wanting to twist it forward towards the face, if you're wanting to pull it straight up for maximum volume, you're going to twist in and pulling into that base, into that direction of the base. So twist in, keeping that dryer on, keeping that tension on, I usually will hold the brush for just a moment. Now this is also where you're going to use your locking technique. If you're working with extra coarse hair, or something where it's not really wanting to give you a whole lot of work, or you want to keep that hair out of the way, you can literally lock the brush into place and use your second round brush to work your next section. And then once you're finished, you're gonna literally untwist, and that's gonna form the hair into that shape that you want it. Make sure you reform that twist, keep it in there. So the hair has to cool for about 15 to 20 minutes to achieve whichever shape. This is gonna be the same with a flat iron, this is gonna be the same with a curling iron, it's the same with forming your hair. So make sure that you do form it back, and a lot of times you can even go through and twist it up and use a hairpin or a curl pin, and place it down, and that's going to give you that nice bouncy big curl. Alright, I think that's going to do it for today, and we'll cover reverse round brushing and whatnot in the next one. I think this one's just about long enough, so I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody that's been kind of influencing me. Matt over at Free Salon Education, Sam Villa, everybody at the Paul Mitchell Las Vegas School, all my friends, everybody. So thank you, and I'll see you next time.